It is early. I think it's about 6 o'clock or so. I've already been to the gym. I want to make sure I create some content before Flip Hacking Live starts here in about 2 hours, I think, maybe 2.5 hours. But up early, wanted to make sure I created some new content for you. And I'm going to start this one off by kind of finishing off a trilogy, if you will. If you haven't seen, my last two videos were really sparked by a conversation I had with a young man on an airplane going from San Francisco to San Diego for this great event. And one of the things that I kind of feel like I missed or I didn't talk about enough was, I talked about the class, I talked about, getting a full commission job and the like, kind of helping you get ready for the future. But I think it's time to be clear. I think there's a certain set of skills that you should be not, I don't know if you should be focused on, but if you can learn these things in high school or college, it's going to set you up to be a much more successful entrepreneur, a much more successful manager, employee, whatever you choose to be. I think there's just some things that as you get older and life happens, that you either have these skills or you've learned them and you're fluent at them or you're not. And one of the things I wanted to point out is I'm not one of the people here saying that it's all about hustle, right? Work 24/7, 3 days in a row and crash. I think all of those things, I think work ethic, I think all those things are important. But without these other things, it's kind of like wasted effort. So I'll start off by talking about public speaking. I think public speaking, the ability to speak with others, large groups, impart, a story, listen, are things that you will be using later in life. Now, I know some of you think I'm crazy, right? You can do so many things now on your phone by yourself. I'm just under the opinion that as you get older, as your circle of friends and influence and all of that grows, that the more comfortable you are speaking to groups, to impart something, the better you will be. So that's the first one. The second one probably should be obvious, but I don't think it's really talked enough about, and that's problem solving, right? And I don't mean math, right? I don't mean algebra. I don't even mean calculus. I mean the ability to get into a sticky situation where one or two parties are upset and then do something about it, work your way around it. Maybe, in the real estate world, maybe it's, hey, schedule slip by one subcontractor that's now impacting another subcontractor. And right, how do you work these things out? You have buyers and sellers. And this world is there's very few things you could do in this world that won't involve people. And thus, once people are involved, emotions and attitudes and biases and all of these things come into play. So the ability to learn problem solving would be great. I don't know if that's student government. I don't know if I don't know what class that could be. I don't even know. Maybe it's an after school activity. But I think on top of public speaking, the ability to problem solve is pretty important. Another one that really wasn't obvious to me going to school as not a good student, right? I was, hey, if I got less than a C, I got in trouble, and if I got a C or above, I didn't. So I got lots of C's. Uh, so it's about money, right? Money, and whether that's accounting or simple math, but the ability to understand how cash, income, net worth, assets, liabilities, how all of these things will affect you in the future is definitely something you have to figure out. There are so many adults today that don't understand money, that can't balance their checkbook, and they're one financial miss away from bankruptcy. So don't let that be you. Understand how money works. I think if you understand the income statement, cash flow statement, and balance sheet, and just how money ripples its way through that, it will serve you a long way. But again, understand money. Understand a checking account, for heaven's sakes. Understand interest. Understand good interest and bad interest. These are all things that are important. Kind of, going on the back of problem solving, which may be scheduling or people, I think conflict resolution. There will be times in your adult life, in your entrepreneur endeavors, where you have to get in the middle of something and help two people get past, or two entities or two businesses or two whatevers who are seemingly at odds get through whatever they're trying to get done. So if you could learn conflict resolution early, be that kind of middleman or peacemaker or whatever you want to call it, I think you're going to be set up to have a lot more success in your entrepreneur endeavors or your business life, family life, whatever. I think that is key. Project management. I didn't get project management until I was 2 years into the workforce, right? I was a young man who went to school and went to work and, all of that, and just worried about my own schedule, right? Kind of singular threaded. Now that I'm in real estate and doing multiple flips at one time and realizing that scheduling and all of these things are important, I would definitely tackle big projects earlier, right, when they were less costly and less issues. Maybe this is group projects, right? Those were always fun in school. Not, they were horrible. But now that I look back on them, the ability to project manage and work with 3 or 4 different contributors more often would have been helpful, because you do that as you get older. Even if you're an entrepreneur that's doing stuff online, you'll have suppliers and vendors, and you'll have bill pays, and you'll have all these things. So take on some project management early, get used to it, try to figure out and learn from it, because the sooner you do, the better you'll be at it. Just two more. The next one's teamwork, kind of like project management. What career do you recommend? Hi, Milky. I think it says Milky CZ. Uh, a career, again, I don't know your age, Milky, but something that I would do in high school or college is I would definitely get something that's commission based. It's stressful. It introduces you to the world. There are downsides. It's not a cushy job, right? You're competing with other people. I think I had a commission job in high school, so I'm telling you what worked for me, and it wasn't always fun, right? Getting scolded or reprimanded for missing your numbers or being lazy or watching the football game or whatever it is, it had ramifications. So as I'm looking to learn and sharpen my skills younger in life, I would get a commission-based job. Not only because the money can be great, but because it forces you to learn fast in my. So going back to my list, so it's teamwork, something that is very important, and this could come from sports in high school and college, but it also can come from clubs and, drama and all these other things. You're going to be working with people. I know we like to think we're solo entrepreneurs. We're not, right? You're going to have contributors. You're going to have vendors, all these other people. So get comfortable working with people and collaborating and all of those things. And then the last one is probably the most important, sort of long term, and that is how to be a good leader, right? If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you're going to be the captain, the CEO, the chairman, whatever you want to call it. You need to be a quality leader, and that means you can only lead by one way. That's where I've seen the downside in most leaders that I have seen, is they have one trick, right? There's the leader that yells at everybody. There's the leader that's everybody's friend. There's the leader that, you know, takes Fridays off. Whatever. Don't be that person. Have different ways of leading and inspiring people. Some people, like me, you can tell, oh, you can't do that, and that's most of the time gonna, make me double and triple down to go for it, because I don't like being told what I can't do. Others, you tell that, you're like, oh yeah, you're right, I can't do that. So as a leader, make sure you have multiple ways to lead and inspire. It is tragic when you only have one way to lead, and that's fear, or you're a friend, or all of these things, because you need different things at different times. So take this time in your life to learn more, watch what's going on, put yourself in uncomfortable situations. That is something I did not do in high school and college. I kind of did my thing and was okay being a solo person. I was not popular in high school, barely got through. And I should have put myself in more uncomfortable situations, and I think I would be farther along now. So that's what I got. I think that's going to be the last video for the conversation I had on the airplane. This, I'll call this the college trilogy, but I'll bring up. I think I'm going to bring up a conversation on Zillow, and then of course our daily financial news here in a couple of minutes. Have a great day, guys. Take care.